Fellas, sometimes when somebody talks trash about you, they say you should ignore them. People say things about you, you just ignore them. Because if you speak to them, you sometimes give them value or give them leverage. Or it looks like you're justifying yourself. If you're justifying yourself, it means you're touched by what they say, And I believe that. Do you believe that? I believe that. But I believe there are categories of people. There's a certain category of people, when they criticize you, you completely ignore them because they represent absolutely nothing. But you responding to them, you are actually giving them leverage. Because they're going to go like, you see, he responded to me, he replied. Yeah, it means I landed. I landed right where I needed. That's the thing. And you end up giving them more value than they actually had initially. They start believing in themselves. They gain confidence because they felt like the first time they criticized you, you reacted. It means they're not absolutely nothing compared to you. I agree you should ignore those people. I also believe there's a category of people, especially people that tend to think that they are smart. When they criticize you, you don't necessarily stay quiet. If you have arguments, you have strong views and strong principle, you should bombard them with a great response so they can understand that they're not as smart as they think. And when you respond to them, you don't respond in an insulting manner. At least not directly. If you're going to be insulting, you have to be ironic. You have to be sarcastic. You have to hit them where it hurt, but in a very unstraightforward manner, not insulting them. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Yes, it is a beautiful day. Pick up my coffee. I love it when you pick up my coffee. We love Swahili. Swahili is a beautiful language. One of the best languages in Africa. No doubt about it. Also, one of the most spoken languages in Africa. You should learn Swahili. If you love the African continent, Swahili should be your language, my brother. I mean, as much as we discuss in English, it's beautiful. But imagine if we were all speaking in Swahili. Shikamo, vipi, umeamuka. Sawa kabisa sawa. Swahili is spoken in Rwanda, Congo, Uganda, Burundi, Kenya, Tanzania. It's got a little bit of a twist here and there, but they understand each other. Okay, get back on track. The Burkina Faso government, this country right here, has condemned U.S. general claim that Burkina Faso's partnership with Russia harms citizen interest. Let me repeat myself. Burkina Faso government has condemned U.S. general's claim that the Burkina Faso's partnership with Russia is hurting or harming citizens' interest. Now, General Langley, this man right here, of the AFRICOM is the African Command of American or United States African Command. Americans have bases all over the world. Okay, why do they have bases all over the world? We don't know. Apparently, they're trying to keep you safe by having bases all over the world. Now, General Langley made a comment saying that the partnership between Burkina Faso and China and Russia, it's actually harming people of Burkina Faso's interest.
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Tory and Burkina Faso, as they know that both.
They are not doing a good job. The best job should be Burkina Faso being in partnership with who? I don't know. Burkina Faso government has strongly criticized recent comments made by U.S. General Michael Langley, commander of the United States Command, AFRICOM. General Langley made these remarks during hearing before the U.S. Senate on the 3rd of April. Okay, so the statement released by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Burkina Faso, government strongly objected with AFRICOM commander's remark. It described its statement as unjustified and politically biased. General Langley had questioned Burkina Faso's current foreign partnership and suggested that the country policy decisions were not in the best interest of its people. Well, it's very interesting that, what's best for Burkina Faso people better than the Burkina Faso people themselves. Let me just say it this way. You probably have children, right? Somebody else could have better idea for your children than you. Well, that's very much possible. But will they love them more than you do love them? Okay, should you then release those children to that foreign person because he has much better ideas than you? Or should we allow you as a parent to look after your children, make your own mistakes and learn from your own mistakes and build up? Will you be okay with somebody coming to your house and tell your children that your father is not working at your best interest? Talking about you. Would you be happy that somebody says that? You're going to ask them, what do you care about? Mind your own business, right? That's what you're going to say. Let's continue. Now, during the Senate hearing, General Langley talked about the growing presence of Russian entities in African countries, particularly Wagner Group. He argued that such partnership may not be beneficial for local population and could create long-term risk for regional stability. So it's very interesting. We all know that Burkina Faso is one of those countries that kicked away the French because the French had been staying there for a long time, because apparently they were called to fight terrorism. Why? Because they colonized Burkina Faso. Therefore, they have their best interest at heart. Again, foreign nation having best interest at heart for you. Now, Burkina Faso say we don't want you anymore. We can deal with this ourselves. Oh, matter of fact, we don't want partnership with Western countries anymore. Can we choose Russia and China? Is it bad to choose Russia and China? Are we allowed to choose what we want to choose? I mean, you're talking about independent freedom countries, right? We're supposed to be free to make our own choices. Now, why are you making comments about how we're living? Now, Burkina Faso firmly rejected this claim. The government remained committed to combating corruption, defending national interests. It also pointed to ongoing improvement in key sectors such as agriculture, education, healthcare, and security. So they reminded them, listen, as much as you're talking, you're saying that we got the wrong partners and it's bad for our people. Oh, look at the key sectors that we've touched when I say the key, like in Nigeria. The key sector, demand, the vendor Holyfield. I'm just kidding. Okay. This is not about Nigerians. But say, look at the key sectors. Agriculture. Like, Burkina Faso has done a tremendous job with agriculture. Big machine, big tractors. Ibrahim Traoré has done an amazing job. The tomato plants have been created. This country used to produce a lot of tomatoes. And where did the tomato go? They went to France to be encapsulated or put into tins and boxes, then sent back to Africa to be resold to Burkina Faso people. Imagine producing tomato in your country, having to send them to France to be put in bottles, to be sold to you back at a higher price. Does that even make sense? They've done it. Okay, now, they've kicked away the French. Good for them. Now they have their own industries and tomato processing plant in the country. So they've done a great job. Not one, not two, not three, more than that. So they're doing progress in agriculture. They're talking about education. They've built schools and universities. They're now creating labs because Burkina Faso people used to go to foreign nations to go do testing into microscope. They will go to the following country. The students have to go to the next country to do research and microscope. Now they've got microscope. Well, who provided the microscope? Not America. Those people, unfortunately, Burkina Faso is doing a tremendous job when it comes to healthcare. They've built hospitals, major hospitals. They're trying to make healthcare accessible to most of the people. So they're doing progress or not? Burkina Faso's improved security. Ibrahim Traoré, who refused to be paid as a president. Just imagine somebody young, an African, refusing his presidential salary. Say, I don't want you to pay me as a president. Just pay me as a captain. I mean, take my money, my salary as a president, put it in a box. So everybody can put a percentage of their salary in the same box so we can have money. So we don't have to depend on Western nations for donations. We don't want to be beggars. We can get our own money from our economy, put it in a box. So we don't have to beg World Bank for donations. We can use that money to buy weapons to fight terrorism. We can use from that money to build tomato plant. We can use from that money to build schools. We can use from that money to build roads. Use from that money to build infrastructure. That's what this man has done. And somebody's worried about the people saying the way he's turned is wrong. Something is not okay. What do you think? Burkina Faso is doing a tremendous job. The foreign ministry pointed out again that the achievement of the country when it comes to defense has nothing to do with Russia. The country has improved its security forces. Okay, they are well equipped. They're getting things. They're getting money. Let's just talk about the money again. Okay, that president saying, "Take some of my money. I don't want my money as a president. Pay me as a captain." Do you think a Nigerian, if he was Nigerian, he would have said, "Pay me as a captain"? Absolutely not. He would say, "Oh God, I want all of my money." Shut up, you idiot. I will slap you if you don't pay my money. Okay, let's get back on track. So foreign ministries say the Defense Security Service is improved and they are working alongside the volunteers called VDP. Now, who are the VDPs? Burkina Faso is fighting terrorism. Now, the army is present. There are also people called the VDP. Who are the VDPs? The VDPs are just young men who are strong enough, who are tired of living through mayhem, and they've learned how to use weapons. They've learned how to defend their families, to disapprove of these terrorists into unaliving people in their communities. I mean, you know, like in movies, the police always comes late, right? When the crime is already done. So the VDPs are the people. They are tired of the police coming late. So they have decided to take things within their own hand, obviously under the umbrella of the government. So we are young people. We are strong enough. We want to learn how to fight so we can defend our communities. Well, I wish Congolese people can do that, but they don't have the heart. Unfortunately, they like shaking their butts and their ass. This is Congo, DRC. This is DRC. Look how big the country is. You see that? That's Goma. That's where all the mayhem is happening, people being unalived and stuff and all that. That's where the gold and diamond and stuff is. Look at this on the map. This is Kinshasa. This is where all the concert is happening. Look how they're shaking their ass. Well, people in Kinshasa are not conscious of what's happening in Goma. Like for them, the country is not at war. Because it's not in Kinshasa, they don't give a continental. It's people from Goma, they can, yeah. The difference between Burkina Faso, everybody's involved. They're not dancing or shaking their ass. They don't have concert every single night, the Congolese people. The people in the street, even though they're not getting money from World Bank or any finances, they are putting money together and weapons, buying weapons from the money they have to go fight. They're not complaining. They're not always just waiting for the army to fight. Youngsters are learning how to defend themselves. Congolese people are shaking their ass. Look, they're just shaking their ass. Now, Congo will be free when? Congo will be free when the war gets to Kinshasa. When these people understand what war is like. That's when they're going to get the consciousness. In the meantime, they have concerts every weekend. Big concert. Big, major. Look at the stadium. Yeah, this is during war. These are the people from... Anyway, let's get back to Burkina Faso. They have strengthened this person. Finally, the statement concluded with a call for mutual respect. So they ask for mutual respect from the United States of America. Respect us, okay? You must uphold the national sovereignty in international relations. They urge partners, including the United States, to engage through proper diplomatic channels. If you have things to say, please engage in proper diplomatic channels. Don't sit on your Senate and talk about us and insult us. We're not okay with that. They reaffirm their commitment to cooperation based on equality and sovereignty. Equality means I can choose my friends. I think you need to watch a little bit of Mr. Langley because he's a very prominent person. He said a lot of things. Listen to him. This is what he said about Africa, the influence. It's all about influence. It's all about who's going to be powerful. You know, China, Russia, and USA are fighting over influence. We all know that. Nobody really cares about Africa. We already know that. But can't Africans make their own choices on who they want to be with? I mean, I'm just asking. Is that bad? Is that too much asking? Watch this.
I can imagine a situation, though, in which the ruling elite of a country is receiving gratuities on the side that inure to the benefit of the strongman leader, and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Tory and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across, even in Sudan.
That's what it is, fellas. It's always a great pleasure. Let me know how you feel about this. God bless.